Marty Schottenheimer in Kansas City, with Cleveland coming up, then Seattle, San Diego, San Francisco, and the Raiders. So it truly isn't the end of the world if they don't come out on top today. Second down now from outside the 29. Pressure again. And Elway on the move into the end zone. Touchdown. Mark Jackson. Was he over the line of scrimmage, though, when he released the ball? I thought he was over the line of scrimmage. Touchdown, Denver. But did Elway cross the 29-yard line?
Well, the kicking team for Denver, if you're a Denver fan, you want to say, hey, guys, let's go. Hurry up. Get out there. You'll see here from our sideline view, getting out of pressure. Well, I tell you what.
Very close. Will there be a review of that play?
Those Denver guys are lined up. They say, hurry up.
They want to get the extra point underway right away. I've never seen a hurry-up extra point, but this is the first.
Those Kansas City guys are just dragging it back, saying, no way. We're going to look at this.
Now, remember.
Now, this is a view that we can't really see what we need to see. Elway being more or less crushed in the pocket by Moss and Thomas just gets out. It's hard to tell how far over the line of scrimmage he was. Well,
it did look like he was inside the 29, though, when he released the ball. That was the line of scrimmage.
The field, that the quarterback was not beyond the line of scrimmage. The play is being reviewed.
Well, that's self-explanatory. We'll take another look at this from the low sideline and see the ball's snapped just inside the 30. Now you'll see Martin collapsing here, forcing him out. Elway scrambling, trying to see a receiver. Oh, there's somebody. That ball's gone. Where is his feet? Now, I think that the ruling would have to be something like breaking the plane of the goal line. Was his body, was the ball breaking the plane of the line of scrimmage? Okay, now we can see his feet here. And now, you know, we are impartial viewers here, Joel, but I'd have to think that he's over. You know, Don Majkowski had a play like this up in Green Bay a couple of years ago that beat us. And it was a very controversial call, and the officials had some rule changes implemented that year.
After further review, the play stands.
Touchdown, Denver, and Mark Jackson.
Well, once again, Elway getting out of the pocket makes the big play. Marty Schottenheimer is getting sick of it.
He's been done in before. You're wondering why Jackson's hanging onto the ball. Well, he came into the game the leading receiver for the Denver Broncos, but he didn't have a touchdown catch until that last grab.
Well, the replay booth tells us now that there was inconclusive evidence to overturn the play called on the field. So, touchdown Denver.
And once again, a Denver lead of 4 points, 17-13 after the Treadwell extra point. So they finally capitalized on a drive that started in Kansas City territory. It started at the Chiefs' 40-yard line, 5 plays. And officially a 29-yard pass play to Mark Jackson for the touchdown. That one will be argued in the Kansas City area for a few days until the next play that is called as a reviewable play stands. Marty Schottenheimer has had his fill of John Elway and Dan Reeves. Great competition, but he's lost 7 of 8. Starting back with the Cleveland Browns when he lost the championship game back on the 11th of January, 87. Then the championship game on the 17th of January, 88. That game at Denver. The only win for Marty Schottenheimer came last year on December 9th when it was a 24-20 lead for the Chiefs with about 4 minutes left. They had a 4th and 3 and decided not to go for the field goal at the 20-yard line of Denver. He didn't want to take any chances. Who can blame Marty Schottenheimer? They not only picked up the first down, they had a touchdown on that play for the coach.
Well, Kansas City's 3 for 13. I mean, they won only 3 of 13 games the last 7 years. The big reason, John Elway.
Harvey Williams waits for the kickoff from Treadwell. So take it to the 5. And does a good job of ball security there, hanging onto it to the 26-yard line. So now the pressure returns to the Kansas City offense.
And another thing about that Elway play, I mean, obviously, he is one of the great quarterbacks in the game today. Everyone knows it. And I think he may get a few calls here and there. I mean, you know, if Joe Benchbreath ran the same play and threw it over the line, I'm sure that the officials would be watching a little bit closer. But, you know, a guy like Elway, they expect him to make great plays. And somehow he seems to make them all the time.
First down from the 26 of Kansas City. 4 minutes, 50 seconds left in the third. DeBerg has problems with the snap. And it's a loss on the carry for Harvey Williams. Craig into the backfield. Play really never got underway, though.
Well, Cragen was the reason why I never got underway. Grunhardt's an excellent center. Schottenheimer thinks he's his best offensive lineman right now. But you'll see Cragen just beats his block, jumps over him after Grunhardt tried to cut him at the end. Stops it in the backfield. And we saw Cragen play great up in Denver a couple of weeks ago, and he's doing a good job today.
Checking in once again on the Hurts 10-minute ticker. The Jets still controlling their contest. A must-win situation for New York. 4-point lead here for Denver. Off the fingertips, intercepted by Dimry. He should be able to take it in. Touchdown, Denver, on the third interception of Steve DeBerg this afternoon.
Well, DeBerg can't believe it. A tip ball results in a touchdown. Now, forget about throwing interceptions. He knows that that's a touchdown. It's going to be hard to make up. Here he goes back. He sees what he wants to see. He just says, hey, I'm going to just throw it and just a bobbled ball. And part of the reason it was bobbled was such great coverage there.
He wanted to go to Pete Holohan, the Plan B signing from the Rams.
Well, Holohan right here with the guy on his tailgate. And, oh, he's stretching for that ball. Wasn't able to get it. Tipped it right into his hands for the interception.
Treadwell has the extra point. And the defense, the last two times Kansas City has had the ball, has been coming up big for Denver. Kansas City had it. The previous possession at their own 10. It was 3 snaps and out. And now, as Kansas City had it at their own 26-yard line, the big play by the secondary again. And the touchdown for Dimry, a Plan B signing from the Atlanta Falcons last year in his 5th year from UNLV.
We talked about Denver wanting to get some turnovers. Well, they've gotten a whole cart full of them here. And some of the times, you know, you're lucky if you get interceptions. You know, you're in the right place. Well, today, I think they've been a little bit lucky, but a lot of the reason is they're making good plays on defense. So getting pressure, they're getting good coverage. They're making DeBerg throw the ball where he doesn't really want to throw it. And so far, Denver's defense has done what they wanted to do when they got here. And that's get the ball for the offense.
Those 3 turnovers, Dan, have led to 10 of Denver's 24 points as they lead it by 11 now, 24-13. Last week it was a completely different story for the Kansas City Chiefs as they picked up 4 turnovers from the Los Angeles Rams, and that accounted for 17 of their 27 points in the victory. So what the Chiefs specialize in has turned against them today. Harvey Williams once again. Didn't we just see this a second ago? Williams to the sideline. And again, DeBerg in the offense, starting back in their own territory at the 25-yard line. It's the 4th time they've had the ball in the second half with 3:52 left in the third. So only 5 interceptions over the first 10 games for Steve DeBerg, and 3 already today.
You know, Joe, when we played in Chicago on defense, we always wanted to put a lot of pressure on quarterbacks because you could tell by looking in their eyes, hey, you know, he's getting knocked down, you're sacking him, he's throwing interceptions. He becomes very unsure of what to do with the ball, where to go, who's he throwing to each and every down. And I'll tell you what, it kind of builds as the game goes on.
First down from the 25. Okoye carrying tacklers. He gets 7 to the 32.
You know, he'd make a great sled dog, wouldn't he? I can't believe it. He's dragging people around out here like he's got a rope on him. You know, Carl Mecklenburg, the fine linebacker, he's moving around a lot here. Now you'll see him here. The right tackle gets off and gets a good helmet on him. That keeps.
Okoye has the first down on 2nd and about 3. Out to the 38-yard line. Dan, it's very early. I would suspect that one thing the Chiefs don't want to do is panic. They want to stay with their original game plan.
Well, I don't think Marty Schottenheimer will panic. You know, since '85, I think he and Dick are the only guys that's had their teams in the playoffs at least 5 times. And you don't do that by being a seat-of-the-pants guy. You have a game plan, you stick with it. You've seen it right here. He's just going to run the ball.
Play action for DeBerg. Looking deep for Barnett. And it's intercepted by Atwater. Atwater's got it. It was up for grabs into double coverage. Actually, 3 D-backs on the play for the Denver Broncos. And it goes back to Elway and the offense at their own 22-yard line. So 5 all year and 4 today for DeBerg.
Well, DeBerg probably makes a decision he wishes he wouldn't have here. Deciding to go deep, not realizing that Atwater was all the way on top of the double zone there. Atwater just playing center field, watching DeBerg's eyes, goes over and makes an easy pick.
Well, I mentioned at halftime, Dan, that it was a very average first half, despite some decent numbers in yardage for Steve DeBerg. It has been a disaster so far in the second half. In fact, Steve DeBerg in 444 passes last year for only 4 interceptions. He's got 4 in 24 attempts today. Green on first down. Gets 3 to the 26.
Well, DeBerg does an awful lot of film study, Joel. A lot of times you can kind of get faked out by that. You kind of think of the defense going to line up and play the same thing they played last time. Well, today we're seeing the Denver safeties off the line of scrimmage an awful lot more than they were 4 weeks ago. Atwater was a good 12 yards deep at the start of the play. Up in Denver, he was about 6 yards off, so he was able to get back and get on top of that. So a lot of times you can kind of get paralysis through analysis.
2nd and 7 from the 26. Green on the delay. They stuff it well. Gaston Green, a big factor in the first half. He had a 60-yard touchdown run. Asked Gaston if it's cold now, Gaston, during the course of the contest, will it affect you? He said, as far as I'm concerned, anything under 70 degrees is cold. Well, not bad, about 60 degrees today.
All you guys from L.A. would say that, though.
Another 100-yard rushing day. That is the 5th of the year for Gaston Green in only his 8th game. Big play. Kansas City's defense. Can they come through? On 3rd and 7. Elway has a man. It's Jackson. Gets away for the first down. Across the 35. He was short by about 2 yards at the first down when he made the reception. Good run after the catch.
Well, it was a good run after the catch. You'll see him just run a little square out, get the ball. Now, this is where he likes to play. Hey, let me dodge this guy. Now you'll see Neil Smith come in and tomahawk chop him down from behind. Big play by Jackson.
A smile in your voice when you talk about the lineman who got in on the play.
The tomahawk. The fans use it. What kind of player?
First down from the 37. Under 30 seconds left in the 3rd. Greg Lewis. And the rookie from Washington gets just about 3 to the 41.
Now, Denver talked yesterday, Joel, about how they're going to chip away at Derek Thomas. A great pass rusher, but he's a big factor on the run, too. Here, watch all the guys chopping on him, knocking on him, chipping on him, banging on him, keeping him occupied and letting those backs hit up in there. That's how you nullify a great talent like him.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. A 3rd quarter where, once again, the Denver defense came up with a big play. Be back after these messages from your local station.
The Fresh Prince and Carlton are out to trap a burglar with the help of Special Crime Stopper Zsa Zsa.
I hit him, and he deserved it.
All new Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on NBC Monday.
News, weather, and sports. You can count on WDAF 4 News.
Looks great. How'd we do it?
Let them look you up, let them know you're around. Let them feel your clothes when you're out of town. Handle all their little last-minute corrections, and you'll have it made. Just use your connections.
For phones, fax machines, and voice and data systems to help you succeed, call Southwestern Bell.
With Southwestern Bell, you got great connections.
It's who you know.
We've been telling you about Kansas City's Hondas. Now, let our customers tell you.
We've been a two Honda family since 1977. I'm gonna look at the new Civic. I'm eager to get it. Now it has anti-lock brakes. Now it has airbag. And those are safety features that I think are important. I keep buying Hondas because they run.
And if that's not enough to convince you, the all-new 92 Civics are arriving daily. Get them while we got them at J. Wolf, John Chizik, O'Neill, Al Quinn, Frank Ancona, and Stadium Honda.
Frank Bowl on WDAF 4 News.
Looking at the numbers through 3 quarters, 4 turnovers, the big difference. And yesterday, Dan, you remember when we spoke with Dan Reeves, the head coach of the Broncos, the very first thing out of his mouth, turnovers will decide the game. The very first statement he started with yesterday in our meeting. It's the difference so far. They lead it by 11 at the start of the 4th quarter. And they look at a 2nd and 6 from the 41. Gaston Green with blockers. Green into the secondary with a first down into Kansas City territory at the 40-yard line. Can he turn it on?
Well, Kevin Porter saved a touchdown there because, as we said earlier, some guys that are fast get faster on AstroTurf. You know, big, slow guys, hell, they're going to be slow. But those fast guys, they seem to get faster. And Gaston told us yesterday, hey, I don't like to play on it all the time, but when I do, I can use my speed.
The Denver experience has been a great one for Gaston Green. Told me his college days at UCLA after going to Gardena High School in the Los Angeles area, then on to the Rams, he never left home. It's been a great experience going to Denver.
Except for the snow.
First down from the 40. Gaston Green met at the line of scrimmage by Irvin Randall.
Well, he just hit the snow plow. Irvin Randall is making an impact today, getting the start for Tracy Seaman. But the thing is, hey, he can stand a couple of those after he breaks those long ones. Randall just forms up on him. I mean, you can show that at a coaching clinic. Great tackle.
The Miller Genuine Draft 10-minute ticker. Finally, O'Donnell, the Steelers get on the board. Chicago, after being tied at 10 with 2 unanswered touchdowns. Elway out of the shotgun. The shovel pass to Sewell, breaking tackles. He's got a first down inside the 30. All the way to the Kansas City 26. Everything going Denver's way now.
Well, Sewell's a guy that they bring in certain instances. You don't really expect him to run the ball like this. He can run the ball as well as anyone when he gets a chance to hit it up in there and get away from those big guys, the linemen. He likes to twist and turn and run over those safeties and corners. Oh, yeah, he likes it.
This is the 8th play of the drive for Denver. Started back at their own 23-yard line. Green again. Cutting it back nicely. Didn't look like anything was available. And he gets almost 7 down to the 20-yard line.
Gaston, one of those guys with the little pitter-patter feet, make these quick cuts. You'll see Sharp, number 81, cutting down on Derek Thomas there, keeping him out of the play. Today, Derek Thomas will earn his money in the NFL. He's going to have a lot of bodies come into contact with him.
It was a big first half for the Kansas City defensive unit. They kept the Chiefs in the game. After all those drives started in Kansas City territory, they had 5 sacks of John Elway. They have not been able to get the quarterback going the second half so far. 12-10 left in the 4th. Second and short, Gaston Green. Chopped down by Billy Moss at the line. Falls forward for a yard to the 19.
Well, Bill Moss is a name we haven't called much today, but he's done a pretty good job of solidifying that right side of the defensive front. Looks like Irvin Randall,
who just came off the injured reserve list, activated for the first time today, unfortunately down once again. for the Chiefs defensive unit. Be right back to Arrowhead.
The white zone is for a
We didn't design the new Mazda MX-3 to be like apple pie. Jalapenos were what we had in mind. Because if something's not worth having an opinion about, it's not worth having. And with the only V6 in its class, the MX-3 is one hot chili pepper. Hey, you're not John Doe. Why drive his car? The new MX-3 from the new Mazda.
It just feels right!
Dave Thomas travels the world over looking for new foods for Wendy's.
Bon appetit. Excuse me, is this what I ordered?
Tonight we feast, but first, we dance!
And it's not easy.
Boy, I sure could go for a Big Dave's Deluxe.
It's back. A big quarter-pound of fresh beef, cheese, 3 strips of bacon, sauteed onions. The works, only at Wendy's.
Which way to El Habib?
El Habib.
Come in for another Big Dave's Deluxe today.
Full roast out here. We're 1,000 miles from anywhere. Is that a ship? No one will save us.
3 Miller Genuine Drafts.
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by the new Mazda. Mazda, it just feels right. By cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Genuine Draft Light, taking the country by storm. By Schick Tracer, it traces every curve on your face. And by First Brands Corporation, makers of STP gas treatment.
Critical third down coming up now for the Chiefs defensive unit. Third and a little bit more than 2. What? Hold Elway.
Well, that's the thing.
Pressure comes. Thomas has him. Third sack of the day. And he may have just knocked them out of field goal range.
More than likely he did, Joel. When you talk about great players play great in the big games. And this is a big game. You'll see Thomas come from the left of your screen here. He just starts upfield. Harvey Salem, the left tackle, takes that head fake. He just dips underneath him. So quick on this turf, a big 300-pounder can't catch him.
3 sacks today for Derek Thomas, who has taken over the lead in the AFC. 6 sacks overall for Kansas City. And instead of trying a 49-yard field goal try for Treadwell, with an 11-point lead, Dan Reeves will play it safe. And Haran comes on the field to punt it away. Delay of game call. An extra 5 yards.
You know, Joel, sometimes when Thomas comes around the back door, the quarterback senses him and feels that pressure. But when you beat a guy on the inside move like that, the quarterback just panics. He can't run, he can't throw, he can't do anything. He just more or less has to eat the ball. And that's a move that you'd always try to see, you know, late in the game. Set the guy up outside all day, and then when you need a big play, take him inside. That time Thomas did it to perfection.
Time working against Marty Schottenheimer and the Kansas City Chiefs, though. 11-18 left in the contest. That drive doesn't produce points, but it took almost 7 minutes off the board for the Denver Broncos. It skips away from Haran. Kansas City will have it in Denver territory. Bad snap all the way.
Dan Reeves told us yesterday, hey, we practice the kicking game all the time. Last week they had 2 kicks blocked, earlier a kick blocked. The last time Haran tried to punt, he squibbed it off the left of his foot, and there, another miscue in the kicking game. And that's what will drive a coach into the, oh gosh, here, what? It was a bad snap. Haran had no chance. On this turf, that ball's hot, and it's hard to catch. He had no chance. It was a bad snap.
Now they go to the bullpen. Mark Vlasic takes over for Steve DeBerg at quarterback for Kansas City. He's been effective in a mop-up role when he has seen duty this year. First down from the 48. The dump off for Harvey Williams. Out of bounds at the 43. 5 on the reception. This is the first time today that the Chiefs have started with the ball in Denver territory. They have to capitalize in a big hurry, though. So DeBerg throwing 4 interceptions. Kansas City had committed only 9 turnovers all year long, second fewest in the NFL, but 4 today. By way of the passes of Steve DeBerg. 2nd and 5. Didn't have a choice. Harvey Williams with Fletcher in the face of Vlasic. And a first down for Kansas City at the 36.
Well, Vlasic watched DeBerg in the first half when Simon Fletcher would blitz, unblocked, he just dump it over his head to the back that Fletcher would normally be covering. Here, you see Fletcher coming. He says, okay, I'll just play catch with my running back and let him make the first down. Good move.
Mark Vlasic goes at 6'3", 205, finding Harvey Williams on 2 straight receptions. He's in his 4th year from Iowa, 4th-round draft choice of the Chargers in '87. Plan B signing for the Chiefs this year. Flags into the air. Looks like a dead ball foul. Procedure call coming up, I would believe, against Kansas City.
Ball start. Offensive line. 5 yards. Still first down.
With 10:10 left in the 4th. Time for the 10-minute ticker. The Miller Genuine Draft 10-minute ticker. And another touchdown late for the Pittsburgh Steelers trying to make a run at the Washington Redskins. Touchdown for Indianapolis, trailing Chicago by only 7. Minnesota has overtaken Green Bay. Philadelphia has increased their advantage.
Well, Marty Schottenheimer told us yesterday, you know, we've got to sweep our own carpet to win the division. Well, you better get the broom out and score on this one.
First down from the 41. Under 10 minutes left. The tight end, can he hang on? No. Mecklenburg all over Holohan.
A couple of old crafty veterans battling it out there. Mecklenburg timing the pass perfectly and hitting Holohan just as the ball gets there. You'll see him here just breaking out on his zone coverage, stripping it with his right arm. This guy, I mean, last week he blocked a kick, got a fumble, caused it, stopped a guy on the goal line. I mean, this is a pro football player's football player right here.
2nd and 10. Still to the 41. Williams, the only one in the backfield. 3 wide receivers setting up. Harvey Williams on the delay. He's inside the 35 to the 34.
Looks like Harvey may have sprained that ankle again. He's got some tape on it. We'll take a look at him. Those backs that really juke and jive like that, they'll sprain their ankle all the time because it makes such hard cuts.
Be right back to Kansas City with 9:37 left.
Cold filtered. Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
A new arrival. A tire so special, it may last as long as you own your car. The new XH4. Congratulations, it's a Michelin, backed by an 80,000-mile treadwear limited warranty. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
When the Mazda Miata first came along, it was like nobody else's baby. But then it was designed to be different. Now the Miata will be joined by 5 new Mazda cars, like the MX-3 Sports Coupe with the only V6 in its class, and the 929 luxury sedan with dual airbags standard. Cars as pure and personal as the Miata. Designed to be different? You bet. The Miata was just the beginning.
He's back. This time we get him. STP gas treatment. Cleans intake valves and fuel injectors to help engines run better. STP, the edge.
After throwing 4 interceptions, quarterback Steve DeBerg lifted by head coach Marty Schottenheimer, going with Mark Vlasic, fourth-year quarterback from Iowa. Interesting decision, Dan.
Well, Schottenheimer really likes Mark Vlasic. Said he's the quarterback of the future for the Chiefs. But, you know, sometimes if you get a quarterback in a rut, he's trying to force things like DeBerg was. It's best just to get him out of it.
So you agree with that decision?
Well, 4 interceptions, no touchdown. I mean, you got to go with someone else.
3rd and 8. Vlasic out of the shotgun, has time and has a receiver. J.J. Burton has the first down on the key 3rd down reception. 18 yards on the catch to the 17.
See, that's a great case in point. Quarterbacks are, you know, completely different. Some watch receivers, some watch tight ends. Well, Vlasic here picks out the receiver on a crossing underneath. Maybe DeBerg would have been looking at someone else who was covered. So sometimes you get another quarterback in there, he sees different things and is able to take advantage of them.
Denver leads by 11. Under 9 minutes left, and don't forget Kansas City used the timeout very early in the first half. Okoye on first down. Near the 10-yard line. He gets 7 on the carry.
Like we saw at the end of the second quarter, hey, it's down here where it's big man on big man, and they bring in the biggest of all, Okoye. This red zone, as it's called, it's hard to go ahead and pound it out for most teams down here, but for Kansas City, they do a great job because they got that big, strong line and those big backs.
Harvey Williams turned his left ankle, questionable whether he'll be able to return. Okoye going to the outside, short of the first down marker, picking up a couple to the 8. They need to take it just inside the 7, and the clock continues to roll under 8 minutes left. Michael Brooks on the stop.
Now, Denver's done a pretty good job against Okoye at times today, but the thing is, now it's getting late in the game. They're getting tired. Those arm tackles aren't going to work.
3rd and a yard.
Okay, he's checking off. He sees those guys in the middle. Watch him run a fade.
There it is. Going for Barnett. Touchdown, Kansas City.
Great throw and catch. Barnett.
Tim may have gotten away with one there.
Hey, it doesn't take him long to figure out how to play this game. He got away with a little bit of a push-off. But it's legal if they don't see it.
So the Chiefs are right back in it. Now Lowry on for the extra point. Tim Barnett with the touchdown reception.
You know, Reeves said, hey, this Barnett guy, you can't tell he's a rookie.
Lowry tries to make it a 4-point game and does so. Now, how much of a push-off did he get away with?
Well, we'll take a good look at it here. He's up in the bump and run. He's just trying to run that fade. Oh, got away with a little bit there.
Well, Demery had a pretty good hold on his jersey, too, though.
Well, I think it's tit for tat. A little hold on the line, and then he pushes him off.
So on his first drive of the afternoon, Mark Vlasic coming through in the clutch, a 48-yard drive. And the Chiefs starting with the ball for the first time in Denver territory all afternoon long. Capitalize on the opportunity.
Looks like playing a little homage there. The young guys sticking together, huh?
That was the center. Second-year man from Notre Dame, Tim Grunhard.
Well, you know they're close. They got somebody, his hands on your cheeks all day.
It's only a 4-point contest now. Denver 24. Kansas City 20. Coming in a pressure-packed situation. He hit a couple of big third-down passes.
He did. You know, like I said, if they're going to sweep the carpet, they got out the broom and a few extra trash bags. That was a big drive for Kansas City. The big thing is 1 touchdown versus 4 interceptions for Steve DeBerg. Now, DeBerg has been one of the big reasons why Kansas City's been a great football team the last couple of years. Some days it just is not your day. Today it looks like Denver had his number.
That was Vlasic's first touchdown pass since December of last season. He was the starting quarterback on opening day for the San Diego Chargers. Holds onto it, almost stripped it away. Washington almost stripped it inside the 20 as Montgomery takes it to the 22. Close to the 23, and now it's up to the defense.
This is amazing. Where's John Wayne when you need him? This crowd is crazy.
Seconds remaining. A 24-20 Denver lead. Perriman and Green in the backfield. Movement on the right side of the line. Flags on the play. And it looked like the right side of the line lifted up early for the Denver Broncos.
Like we talked earlier, Elway gets some help on the first and second down play calling. And I think you're going to see Denver go ahead and try to pound it out a little bit to take the crowd back out of the game. They know if they get in a long yardage situation where Kansas City can get a sack, this place is going to be up for grabs. So they're going to go ahead and try to run it out, imagine, Joe.
Illegal motion, number 81, offense, 5 yards, still first down.
At the top of your screen, you'll see Sharp kind of wait to get a little. Neil Smith kind of flinched and drew him a little bit, but that's legal. Defense can move, offense can't.
So the play is over. They'll play it over. It'll be first and 15. Now, do they take chances deep in their own territory? Gaston Green cut down by Porter.
The crowd loves it. Strong safety, Kevin Porter coming on a blitz. Makes the play in the backfield. See at the top of your screen, 27 unblocked, just dips underneath Perriman. Hell, heck, there was somebody to count for him. He just makes a super play. Porter is having a great day, just like Deron Cherry did last week, Joe.
Second and 18, inside the 15. With Johnson going in motion. Inside give. It's Steve Sewell. He's belted, hangs onto the ball after taking a shot from Deron Cherry, and goes down to the 22. Coming off what he told us yesterday, one of the best defensive performances he has ever put together. An interception caused a fumble last week that led to the game-winning points. Now, can they come through in the clutch once again on 3rd and 10 and get the ball back for Vlasic and the offense? Clock moving. Exactly 6 minutes left. Elway can't find his man. He wanted Mark Jackson, and the Chiefs will get it back.
J.C. Pearson all over him. Elway thinking he could gun it in. Shouldn't do it.
They've got 3 outstanding cornerbacks. When Ross was down, when Lewis was down, they were fortunate to have J.C. Pearson. And he was all over Mark Jackson on that last attempt by Elway. Horan with a low snap. Gets it away. A line drive. Returnable type for Troy Stratford from the 35. Looking for blocks. Won't get them. But still, good field position to start the drive after the 42-yard punt by Horan. When we come back, Kansas City's got the ball at their own 37-yard line, trailing by 4 with 5:44 left.
This is not a surprise. You knew you were going to have to pick up the tab. But then 6 more people showed up. Not the time to run up against a preset limit on a bank card. That would be embarrassing. But you can handle this. Instead of worrying, you order more wine. The card, the American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
The white zone is for immediate.
We didn't design the new Mazda MX-3 to be like apple pie. Jalapenos were what we had in mind. Because if something's not worth having an opinion about, it's not worth having. And with the only V6 in its class, the MX-3 is one hot chili pepper. Hey, you're not John Doe. Why drive his car? The new MX-3 from the new Mazda.
It just feels right.
If your face were square, shaving would be simple. If your face were flat, any razor would do. But your face has curves. You need the revolutionary Schick Tracer, the first razor with a blade that flexes to trace every curve on your face. Compared to other razors, Tracer puts more of the blade edge against your skin. For real faces, just like yours. Tracer from Schick traces every curve on your face.
Don't forget, coming up tonight on NBC, The Adventures of Mark and Brian in Erie, Indiana. Night Court and that great movie. Marty McFly is back on the air. Back to the Future 3. It all starts tonight at 8:30 with Back to the Future at 8:30. Back to the Future 3. First and 10 from the 37 Okoye. Straight ahead and gets 3 when it didn't look like anything was there. A look once again at the Miller Genuine Draft 10-minute ticker. Another touchdown for Washington seals that one at Pittsburgh. Still tight at the Hoosier Dome. A close one in Green Bay as well. And now 2nd and 7 from the 40 for Vlasic and the Chiefs. Pressure coming. Vlasic gets it away. Mecklenburg didn't realize that it was right there. McNair, the intended target.
Simon Fletcher goes right around the blocker and had Vlasic by the chest. You'll see Fletcher coming from the outside, trying to get around the right guard, David Lutz. Oh, that's a strong arm, being able just to get it out there with a guy hanging on to you.
Last year, that's probably called in the grass. But Vlasic managed to get it away. Instead of a loss, it's now 37. Can they keep the drive alive? 5:11 remaining. Pressure on Vlasic. He's hit as he releases. And the Denver defense comes up big. Kenny Walker used in spot duty today, putting good pressure on the quarterback.
But Denver's rush is getting some pressure now, and it's kind of easy. Hey, they know Kansas City wants to throw the ball, so they're going to pin their ears back and come. You'll see Walker coming around the back door, forcing the bad pass.
The rookie Kenny Walker making the big plays. Barker punts it away. Vance Johnson waiting. He'll take it from the 19. Trying to reverse his field. And he's taken down at the 18-yard line. Charles Washington, the first one down there for Kansas City. He's been an exceptional player today on special teams for Marty Schottenheimer. Well, how many great stands and great defensive efforts can this Chiefs unit come up with? 4:55 remaining in the contest.
Well, if you're a Chief fan, you're going to think, hey, we need to get a turnover for some easy points here. And I think that's exactly what Denver's going to say, hey, we don't want to do is turn it over.
Don't forget, on NFL Live next Sunday, starting at 12:30 Eastern, a special interview with the Bears head coach, Mike Ditka. First down from the 18. Kansas City with only 2 timeouts left. 3 left for Denver. Gaston Green weaving his way across the 20 to the 22-yard line. He gets 4. And he keeps the clock moving.
Bill Moss made a good play that time. That was just a kind of a flare blocking scheme by the offensive line. The guard, Crawford Kerr, turned out. Moss, from his right end position, fought across it, making the tackle. This guy, he's been a rock for Kansas City for a lot of years.
And his big play defense, as you can see, makes the big play regularly late in the game. Can they come through in the clutch on their home field against their arch rival in this Western Division showdown? 2nd and 6 from the 22. Movement according to Neil Smith. Let's find out from the official, though.
But it looks like Clarence Kay shifted in his stance. Neil Smith pointed and said, hey, I got to go ahead and jump off sides to make the officials call it. Well, it backfired on him.
It's going to go against Kansas City.
Encroachment, number 90. Defense, 5 yards.
Well, we're going to take a look at it. I thought I saw a little flinch. If you look at the left side of your screen here, you'll see Clarence Kay lined up right there, right there. He moved, drawing Neil Smith off. Now, once those guys get set, they can't pull out. You'll see on the left side over here, shifting his left arm, trying to get in position to cut off block, get a cutoff block on Chris Martin, the linebacker. So Neil Smith says, hey, he moved, and he jumps across, but it was called against him.
So instead of 2nd and 6, it's 2nd and a yard. Gaston Green. He's got the first down to the 29. We'll be right back to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, but let's head to New York now. An update with Bob Costas.
Talking about this one tomorrow, you can bet on that, Joel. Now, keep in mind, the camera here is not exactly parallel to the line of scrimmage. And number 97 of the Chiefs is going to screen the replay officials' view on this, and so perhaps rightly they decide inconclusive. But the rule says any part of the passer's body beyond the line of scrimmage when the ball is released makes it an illegal pass. Close, but what do you folks think? Joel?
Thank you, Bob. Well, at the time, we all felt that he was across the line of scrimmage. The play stood for a touchdown to Mark Jackson. 1st and 10 give, Gaston Green again. Not much. 3 yards on the carry. Bob Costas and the crew at NFL Live going to the rule book to take a look once again at John Elway's touchdown pass to Mark Jackson, and obviously the difference in the game in a 4-point contest with 3:21 remaining. And now Kansas City uses one of the remaining 2 timeouts, stopping it with 3:21 left.
The problem is, the more income your investments earn, the more taxes are taken out. Which is why you should consider a tax-free investment from John Nuveen and Company. Because with Nuveen, the more you earn, the more you keep. Ask your financial advisor about Nuveen tax-free investments, or simply call this number.
Marty Schottenheimer has been here before against the Denver Broncos. In his 7 losses to Denver and Dan Reeves, 5 of the 7 have been decided by 5 points or less, and 4 of the 7 have been decided by a field goal or less. Well, right now it's a 4-point difference. Dan Reeves has taken 7 of the 8 matchups against Schottenheimer. He's on top right now, and Marty is down to his final timeout. 2nd and 7 from the 32. The end around for Shannon Sharp, and he gets a block to the outside, has the first down.
Well, Derek Thomas was wiped out by a block. We're going to take a look at it, see who that was. He had it, the play more or less read, and he was in good shape here. You'll see Carson Center will come back around. Now, he's in good shape, except, one thing. Cart's able to get out there and get a good crack block on Derek Thomas. Like I said, this guy, Derek Thomas, will be very sore at the conclusion of this ball game.
Great play by Shannon Sharp, the big block by Carts, but he did go out of bounds, stopping the clock with 3:14. First down to the 47. Green gets 2 to the 49. And now Kansas City will use their final timeout, I believe.
Like you're saying, Sharp getting out of bounds, stopping the clock, helped Kansas City an awful lot on that play. But you know, hey, he's a big guy. I mean, big guys are supposed to be, little quick guys, and those are your kind of your skill players. Tight ends, they're kind of like linemen. They get to act like skill players at times, and they don't know all those fancy rules. They just want to try to make yards.
The Miller Genuine Draft 10-minute ticker. Washington clinching a playoff spot today, raising their record to 11-0. Chicago still clinging to that 7-point lead, trying to go to 9-2. New England making a furious comeback in the 4th quarter on the Jets.
Fourth quarter score, New York Jets 21, New England 14.
Well, 2 more first downs and the game is over. The Chiefs will have it stopped one more time with the 2-minute warning. Of course, the incompletion can also stop the clock.
Well, look for Bill Cowher to try to make something happen. Blitz someone. Someone's got to make a play if Kansas City's going to have a chance.
Second and 8 from the 49. The pitch for Gaston Green. And they get him behind the line, Sally Amua.
Big play, Sally Amua. We talked earlier, some nose guards, they can't even get out of their shadow. This guy was out there on the other side of the numbers, making maybe the biggest defensive stop so far. We'll take a look here. The center trying to overblock him. He's got that speed. Look at this, out there running down running backs outside the numbers. I very seldom ever got out that fall, Joe, when I was playing. This little guy can scoot it.
He outweighs Gaston Green by more than 100 pounds. And now, this is the game for the Kansas City defense. 3rd and 11.
Unfortunately, this is how we live. Groceries in, garbage out. Groceries in, garbage out. Fortunately, there are aluminum cans. You use them and recycle them. Use them and recycle them. It's that easy. So please do your part. We're not asking you to save the world. We're just asking you to take better care of it.
When the Mazda Miata first came along, it was like nobody else's baby. But then it was designed to be different. Now the Miata will be joined by 5 new Mazda cars, like the MX-3 Sports Coupe with the only V6 in its class, and the 929 luxury sedan with dual airbags standard. Cars as pure and personal as the Miata. Designed to be different? You bet. The Miata was just the beginning.
Is your car shaking, rattling, or rolling? Whether it's alignment, shocks, or struts, Midas uses top technology to diagnose the problem and top technicians to fix it. For suspension or alignment, nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
The employee owners of Ava salute the game's MVP, and that's Gaston Green with 125 yards on the ground today. Got that Denver offense going. He's the winner of the We Try Harder Award. Ava's the official car rental company of the NFL. Moran into punted away into Troy Stratford. Now, can he get a good snap? They already bobbled one. And it is a low snap, but he gets it away in good fashion. It'll take a Denver hop. Stratford bobbling it at the 10. Shannon Sharp, the first one down there as he goes out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Good scoop by Mike Horan. And we take a look now at today's Canon camcorder replay of the game. How would you like this coming at you? Christian Okoye on a touchdown run.
I think we've all been on a deserted road and seen how those rabbits or whatever, their eyes will freeze in the headlights. Well, with that thing coming at me there, that's a big load. I think I'd freeze too. Corey able just to plow through the Denver defense for the touch.
Minute 52 left. Kansas City out of timeouts. A 24-20 Denver lead. And now McNair in the backfield with Okoye on the sideline. 4 wide receivers in the set. Vlasic underthrows it. Brooks should have had the interception. Instead, it stops the clock and brings up 2nd and 10.
Classic talking about the receiver should have run a comeback instead of the flag where he runs through the corner. So that's what happens when you don't play much. You get in a crucial situation and you got to make sure you're on top of all the calls and things.
Don't forget next Sunday, NFL Live with a special interview with Mike Ditka, 12:30 Eastern, before a big NBC doubleheader. And the second game, the Bears and the Dolphins. 2nd and 10 from the 15. They give Vlasic time. He's got a man wide open. Emil Harry with his first catch since coming off the injured reserve list. What a time to come up with your first catch of the entire year.
He's going to kill the clock here.
They've got the first down, and it's now 2nd down out of the 29. The executive producer of NBC Sports, Terry O'Neill. Our producer for today's contest, Glenn Adamo. Our director, John Gilmartin. Our associate director, Dick Ellis. Bill Herbstman, our production associate. And doing a great job of the booth with us, our statistician, Elliot Cow. So Schottenheimer, Marty Schottenheimer, the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, going with the younger quarterback in crunch time, as they call it. There you see the lineup. NBC's doubleheader next Sunday. 2nd and 10 from the 29. Pressure coming. Vlasic gets away. There's Thomas for the completion. But a sure-handed tackle by Randy Robbins.
Well, Thomas would have been better off just letting the ball drop. He didn't make any yards, and it would have stopped the clock.
Now it brings up a 3rd and 8 from the 31. Under a minute 10 left. Vlasic floating it over the middle, complete. Burden's got it. Can he get to the sideline? What will they do? Will they stop it? Yes, they do. Dan Reeves is livid. He thought the knee was down before the man got out of bounds. 20 yards on the catch.
Boy, Dan Reeves cannot believe this. He thinks both knees are down, inbounds.
I agree.
They work.
Vlasic now, 7 of 12 for a total of 70 yards. They're always close between Denver and Kansas City. Thomas tries to get to the sideline. Will he make it? No. Clock continues to roll. Kroll with the big play. 45 and counting. He's got to stop it. We'll have to spike it. And now they stop the clock momentarily. With 35 seconds left. It's 2nd and 5. Field goal doesn't do any good for Kansas City, trailing by 4.
For some reason, the officials have just stopped the clock and the play. They're over here discussing something with the side.
Out of their timeout, the rules provide for a 10-second runoff. The rules provide for a 10-second runoff.
What a break for the Kansas City Chiefs to get it to stop, but now, because they feel that the Chiefs faked an injury, there will be a 10-second runoff. And now the argument comes from the other sideline, and Marty Schottenheimer. They're still discussing it with the referee. Vlasic has done an incredible job, though, for Marty. When you consider you've got your quarterback in there that doesn't take the reps, the repetitions during the work week. It's been DeBerg all week long getting ready for this game. And now Bob McElwee comes over to explain it to the Chiefs head coach.
Well, it may be too little too late for Marty, because Marty is trying to explain something to the official. He thinks there should be a full 40 seconds and then run 10 off of the play clock, I think, is what he's trying to get across.
Off the clock.
Well, now they will run that 10 seconds. I thought they'd have to, due to the injury. Down to 25 seconds left in the contest. So all of a sudden now you've got to start throwing for the end zone.
Well, you got 3 downs. You want to try to go to the end zone at least once.
4 wide receivers setting up for Vlasic. And they start the clock. Vlasic has to hurry. They're rolling the clock. He wasted better than 6-7 seconds. It's complete, but he can't get out of bounds. Complete to Stratford. And that will most likely be the final play of the game. Yes, it will. Time runs out on Kansas City. Confusion reigns at Arrowhead Stadium.
Well, when you don't have your starter in there and it gets down into these crucial moments of the game, you're going to have some confusion.
So the Denver Broncos have swept the Kansas City Chiefs this year. When you're looking down the road to tiebreakers, that is the first one. Head-to-head competition. And Denver has taken over sole possession of the lead in the AFC Western Division with a record of 8-3 as Marty and the Chiefs fall to 7-4. We'll be right back to Arrowhead Stadium with more right after this.
Good afternoon, everyone. Now, we will be back here inside the Chiefs locker room for you with a post-game report. The Chiefs have lost the Denver Broncos, as you've just seen, by a final of 24-20. We'll have all the highlights, we'll analyze it for you, and we'll have post-game interviews with the players and the coaches coming up next.
Today's local coverage of Chiefs football is brought to you by your local Chevy dealers, Price Chopper, and your Greater Kansas City Honda dealers.
Not every emergency at St. Joseph Health Center utilizes our trauma center capability. Sometimes you just need a little help in a hurry. So right next to our regular emergency department is Emergency Quick Care. And about half the time, for about half the cost of regular emergency treatment, a physician like Dr. Mark Holcomb will treat that painful earache, awful flu, nasty cough, big bad cold, or little owie. Emergency Quick Care. Open evenings and weekends at St. Joseph Health Center.
We don't have to tell people we're #1. Our cars and trucks speak for themselves. See your local Chevy dealer.
Is Kansas City married to the mob? Find out Tuesday. Chiefs quest for the West. Post game.
Off the fingers, it's intercepted by Kimry. He should be able to take it in. Touchdown, Denver, on the third interception of Steve DeBerg this afternoon.
DeBerg finishes the day with 4 interceptions and an early exit for DeBerg. The Chiefs couldn't overcome the mistakes. They fall 24-20 to Denver in a wild one. Hello, everyone. I'm Kevin Keatsman, and thanks for staying with us for this special Quest for the West postgame report. The Chiefs lose at 24-20 to Denver, a win for the Broncos as they take over sole possession of first place in the AFC West with 5 weeks remaining in the NFL's regular season. We've got quite a bit to cover in the next 30 minutes or so, with most of our focus taking place right outside the Chiefs locker room. That's where we find sports director Frank Bohl, who, like 78,000 other fans in Kansas City, got to see this one in person. Frank, a bit of a wild finish by the Chiefs there today. They just ran out of time at the end.
Yeah, they really did, Kevin. They just couldn't get it down into that scoring zone and get the ball in the end zone at the end, so no miracle finish for the Chiefs on this Sunday. Interesting ball game today. The Chiefs did not take the ball away from the Denver Broncos, and yet the Denver Broncos did take the ball away from the Chiefs. That's the way the Chiefs have been surviving most of the season in that giveaway, takeaway situation. They were #1 in the league in that department going into today's game. So a big game out here today, but Denver, boy, they really came in. You have to give that team credit. They beat them out in Denver. They come in here today, and I think if you ask the consensus majority of anybody, not just here in Kansas City, but maybe even out in the Mile High City, they might have thought that Denver was really going to have tough sledding in here today with a sold-out crowd, very vociferous crowd out here today. But really, from the opening kickoff, when they ran it back 55 yards, they started to try to take the fans out of it. And, of course, John Elway once again comes up with a lot of big plays in this game and puts the damper on what should have been or could have been a big Chiefs victory out here today, but didn't happen. And now Denver is in the driver's seat in the AFC West, Kevin.
Just a moment with some post-game interviews, but first we want to take a complete look at the highlights from this game. 7 wins and 3 losses. That's how both teams entered the contest. 78,000 at Arrowhead today, and we get started in the first quarter. Denver squanders several opportunities on offense. This is Derek Thomas with the Chiefs' 4th sack in the first quarter. 3 times Denver was inside the Chiefs' 30-yard line. They get only 3 points. The Chiefs even blocked a field goal here. Bill Moss with the big play. It's only 3-0 Denver. Then the Chiefs come up with a big play. Steve DeBerg, an ill-advised pass. This one almost picked off. Tim Barnett has it, and a great run from Barnett as he gets down near the 20-yard line. Steve Atwater dragging Barnett down from behind. A few plays later, Christian Okoye just blows the Broncos back from 7 yards out. A touchdown for Okoye, and Kansas City has the 7-3 lead. But Denver strikes back immediately with a ground game of their own. This is Gaston Green, who loves playing on artificial surface. Kevin Porter missed the tackle right there. Gaston is chewing up the green, 60 yards for the score. Denver retakes the lead 10-7. Green with 126 yards on the day. Near the end of the half now, the Chiefs with a 3rd and 2. DeBerg to J.J. Burden. Good for a first down at the 25-yard line. The Chiefs get a field goal, tie it at 10 at the half. 3rd quarter now. Who says Okoye can't run against Denver? Okoye with a nice day. The Chiefs move it with several Christian Okoye runs. This one good for 10 yards, but Kansas City has to settle for a field goal again. It's 13-10 Kansas City. What would the game be without controversy? Denver inches inside the KC 30-yard line. Elway scrambling. Does he get past the line of scrimmage before he unloads this pass to Mark Jackson? They call it a touchdown, but wait, we've got a review. And here's a surprise. The play stands. Elway, again with magic against the Chiefs. You can see his foot is inside the 30-yard line before he throws the ball, but it's 17-13 Denver. Things then really fall apart. DeBerg to Pete Holohan. It's tipped, intercepted by Charles Dimry. Easy touchdown for Dimry. Turnovers killing the Chiefs, 24-13. Next possession. DeBerg is really getting desperate. He tries to get it all back in one play. He throws deep here. Steve Atwater is the only guy open. Unfortunately, he's got a white jersey on. Interception for Atwater. Now, DeBerg is placed on the bench in the 4th quarter. Mark Vlasic in the game. He has a 3rd and 2. Vlasic with the audible at the line of scrimmage tosses to the end zone and finds Tim Barnett for the touchdown. That made it 24-20. The Chiefs have pulled within 4 points. They get the ball back with a couple of minutes to play, but with no timeouts, and the Chiefs are unable to score as they run out of timeouts. The game ends 24-20, Kansas City losing to the Broncos. 4 Denver interceptions, really the difference for the Broncos today as they beat Kansas City by 4 points. Back to Arrowhead Stadium now in Frank Bowl, and Frank, those interceptions were really a killer for the Chiefs, and Steve DeBerg was even taken out of the lineup today.
Yeah, really, it's the first time we've seen that. Remember, he did have a bad game in San Diego a few years back where he threw, I believe, 5 or 6 interceptions to the Chargers. So he was not on his game today. Just one of those things. Remember, Denver very used to what the Kansas City Chiefs do by now, especially with Steve DeBerg being in the lineup now for several games against the Denver Broncos. They know pretty much the play-action series. They know pretty much where the receiver's going to be. And they know pretty much that the Chiefs aren't going to try to go deep on them. They're going to try to beat them with a play-action, short passes, and then let receivers run it. But as you can see, the Denver Bronco defenders right there in that situation and ready for Steve DeBerg and the Kansas City Chiefs today. They put on a pretty good rush. A couple of times when DeBerg had receivers open downfield and the defenders were back in his face, he couldn't even get a good follow-through. And that really proved to be the undoing. The big play, of course, the interception that went through Pete Holohan's hands and was run back in for a touchdown for the Denver Broncos. Of course, 24-20 was a tough situation. I've got Bill Moss out here with me right now. And Billy, come on in here and join me for a second. And I know for you, this is a tough situation. It was a tough football game. Up front defensively, you seem to hold them running-wise, but the turnovers and keeping you guys on the field, the big difference today.
Well, you know, obviously a disappointing loss for us. We made a lot of mistakes out there today, all around, offense, defense, special teams, and resulted in a loss.
Billy, what's the situation now with Kansas City Chiefs? I know in any kind of tiebreaker situation, the Denver Broncos have you. But you still have to continue to get back up week after week because now, you know, even if you can't win the West, you still have to look for that wild card playoff spot.
We're in a dogfight. We have Cleveland, Seattle and Seattle, San Fran, Los Angeles Raiders out there. So we've got ourselves in a situation where we're going to have to fight and scrap to get a wild card spot.
You know, you got up really high for this football game. Do you worry a little bit about going on the road next week, playing a team like Cleveland? I mean, that has presented a problem for you.
Well, I think the best thing that can come out of this game is to take that frustration and turn it into anxiety and get back to work here Wednesday.
Okay, Billy Moss, thanks a lot. I know it's tough coming out here, and I thank you for joining me. And we're going to go to break here real quick. Then we're going to come back, and we'll have Deron Cherry with us when we come back.
This WDAF TV4 post-game special is brought to you by Kansas City Power and Light, your local Kansas City Chevy Geo dealers, the Gold Buffet, and the Greater Kansas City Honda dealers.
We've been telling you about Kansas City's Hondas. Now, let our customers tell you.
I had the Honda Civic for 7 years and never once took it in for any kind of repair whatsoever. So when I decided to get a new car, that's why I chose another Honda, because I knew that they were low maintenance.
And if that's not enough to convince you, the all-new 92 Civics are arriving daily. Get them while we got them at J. Wolf, John Chizik, O'Neill, Hal Quinn, Frank Ancona, and Stadium Honda.
At Kansas City Power and Light, more than 2,800 specialists are working to meet your energy needs, each with unique talents, knowledge, and skills. Together, they're your resource for energy expertise, answering questions, solving problems, getting it done. Your energy team, Kansas City Power and Light. Ask us about energy.
Where's the action?
The action is at the Gold Buffet for families, groups, and private parties, celebrating 30 years of Gold Buffet action.
Where's the action?
It's You, Foster, plus Mickey Finn's Ragtime Piano, Dixieland Band, and outrageous comedy are the greatest.
I'll drink to that. What you got?
A full Las Vegas show, December the 5th and 6th at the Gold Buffet Celebrity Room. Remember, December 5th and 6th.
Try to remember the...
I forgot.
We don't have to tell people we're number one. Our cars and trucks speak for themselves. See your local Chevy dealer.
Denver head coach Dan Reeves is out of the locker room. Let's join him live right now. That's fine.
They don't second-guess me. I won't second-guess them much.
Kind of a strange game, wasn't it? I mean, from an officiating standpoint, it's...
I don't know. I have no comment.
Now that you have first place, do you like the chances for the Broncos beating the Chiefs twice?
Well, I like our chances if we'd have split with the Raiders, but I like our chances. I mean, we're in first place right now. We won one on the road. We got to win a couple more on the road to, to feel good about it. Everybody's got a tough schedule. When you look at the Raiders, you look at the Chiefs, you look at ourselves, and even Seattle, although Seattle probably has an advantage as far as schedule because they're playing a lot of games at home.
How critical is that defensive game right before the end of the first half?
Big because they only came away with 3 points, and it looked like they were going to go in for 7. So, yeah, it was a big... Didn't think it looked too good. We had 12 men on the field trying to stop them, but it turned out we held them. So that was a big thing. Big play.
Worried about the snap on the last punt game. So that's Dan Reeves over on his side of the locker room. Of course, you can imagine that locker room is pretty happy. This one over on this side, I have Deron Cherry with me, is not the same. Deron, I know how much you guys wanted this football game. What happened out there Saturday?
Just very disappointing. Another loss to Denver, which, you hate to see. I know everybody hates to see, but, Frank, we just made too many mistakes. And when you get behind the 8 ball, it's awful tough to come back. And, we just couldn't get it on track. We get field position and we make a turnover or whatever. And defensively, they got some big plays on us. And it's just seems to happen over and over again. But, I give them credit. They took advantage of some opportunities that we gave them. And as good football teams usually do, they capitalize, and the Broncos did that today.
What about John Elway? I mean, everybody says big plays. They think they're touchdowns, but they're really not touchdowns. They're plays. They're 3rd and 10s, 3rd and 8s, 2 and 12. He just seems to come up with it, even though sometimes it looks like he goes across the line of scrimmage to get some of them.
Yeah, it appeared that he did on that play, but, the ref makes a call, and that's a decision up in the booth whether he was past the line of scrimmage or not. But, he's always been like that. He makes those plays. He made one in the 3rd quarter that brought his team back, and they took over the lead there, and they gained some momentum on that play. And he's just a great competitor. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, one of the toughest competitors I've ever faced.
What about your situation now? You can't afford to have a big letdown against the Cleveland Browns. I mean, you got to come right back and go out on the road and play football.
Yeah, we got to regroup, and we got to regroup in a hurry because we cannot afford to go to Cleveland and lose another football game and expect to be in a position at the end to make it into the playoffs. We're not out of it yet, but, we've made our path a little bit tougher now that we've lost twice to the Broncos.
Okay, Deron Cherry, thanks a lot for coming out of the locker room today. Okay, Neil Smith joins me now. Neil, the guys up front, I mean, you gave it everything you had against John Elway. You sacked the guy 6 times back there. The big difference today may be turnover. They just wouldn't turn that ball over, would they? And I think you had one that I think was a turnover that they didn't give you.
Exactly. I can remember when they had a ball up there, and
A lot of people standing around, the ball was still on the ground. I went in and got it, and he said that they gave it to him. So but other than that, we didn't get no turnovers at all. And it hurt us, but we came up with some big plays at the right time.
What about that guy, Elway, playing quarterback back there? I mean, I know you harassed him. You're going to see a play here, but it just seems when it got into a situation where he needed a play again, whether it was a 3rd and 2 or a 3rd and 8, not necessarily a touchdown play, but just a play that he needed. He always seems to come up with some kind of magic thing.
Yeah, he does. I mean, a great competitor, and I think that, he never quit. He give all the effort. And when you got a guy out there like that that's leading you, it helps a lot because he's a great leader, man. And just can't take anything from him. I thought for sure he was over the line when looking at the replay, but evidently he wasn't because they looked at it again.
Think about you guys right now. You are now 7-4. They're 8-3. You can still get a wild card spot and still host an AFC playoff game here at Arrowhead, but you got to keep your focus, and you really have to go after it, don't you?
Yeah, we did. We lost some games, some big games last year, and we came back and the week later and bounced back and made some wins. Well, this is going to be the most important one here, going out to Cleveland and try to win because we can't afford to lose anymore right now, and we just got to bounce back off this hard loss at home and then get her up and try to get a win down in Cleveland.
Well, I know you guys hate to hear this, but you guys up front played a great game today. I mean, it wasn't enough to get the job done, but you guys did your part to win this football game with all the sacks and everything on John Elway. You just have to regroup and go get it.
Exactly right.
Okay, thanks, Neil Smith, for coming out. We're going to take another break. We'll be back at Arrowhead in just 2 minutes.
Not every emergency at St. Joseph Health Center utilizes our trauma center capability. Sometimes you just need a little help in a hurry. So right next to our regular emergency department is emergency quick care. In about half the time, for about half the cost of regular emergency treatment, a physician like Dr. Mark Holcomb will treat that painful earache, awful flu, nasty cough, big bad cold, or little owie. Emergency quick care. Open evenings and weekends at St. Joseph Health Center.
At Kansas City Power and Light, more than 2,800 specialists are working to meet your energy needs, each with unique talents, knowledge, and skills. Together, they're your resource for energy expertise. Answering questions, solving problems, getting it done. Your energy team, Kansas City Power and Light. Ask us about energy.
Sonny Hill Motors in Platte City is deal hunting season. I'm aiming to shoot down high car and truck prices. You can get this here 85 Buick Somerset for just $37.88. How about 88 Isuzu Limemark, $53.88. Here's 86 Chevy Caprice for $68.88. Or you get an 88 Rough Raider, $78.88. Plus take a test drive, get a free turkey. It's deal hunting season at Sonny Hill Motors off 929 by that Platte City water tower. Oh! And
where's the action?
The action is at the Gold Buffet for families, groups, and private parties, celebrating 30 years of Gold Buffet action.
Where's the action?
It's you, Foster. Plus, Mickey Finn's Ragtime Piano, Dixieland Band, and outrageous comedy are the greatest.
I'll drink to that. What you got?
A full Las Vegas show, December the 5th and 6th at the Gold Buffet Celebrity Room. Remember, December 5th and 6th.
Try to remember that.
I forgot.
Okay, now before everybody gets too depressed about the situation out here at Arrowhead with the Chiefs losing 24-20 and Denver has taken both games, remember, even if they don't win the AFC West, and that looks pretty bleak right now, they can still certainly get a wild card playoff spot, and if they have the best wild card record, they can then go and host an AFC wild card playoff game right here at Arrowhead. So things aren't as bleak as they may look after that 24-20 loss. Marty Schottenheimer talked about the game in his press conference this afternoon.
With an injury, they are, I'm informed, supposed to run 10 seconds off the clock. My understanding was that the fourth timeout, which is in effect what that would be for the injury, is not charged, and subsequent to that, there would be time run off the clock. In any event, they did that. They went from 35 to 25, but instructed us not to snap the ball until 16. And so I think the best way to get that is check with the pool reporter to determine exactly what takes place. I have some sense that maybe they were in error, but let me say this to you, and exactly the same thing I told our football team. The officiating did not beat us today. That is not what happened to us. We gave up a couple of big plays defensively, and we turned the ball over on offense. And if you do that against a good football team, the officiating doesn't make any difference. So that's...
They instructed you not to snap until...
Okay, of course, that was head coach Marty Schottenheimer. I have Tim Barnett and Christian Okoye with me. And Christian, you first. Good game today against the Denver Broncos. Few, even though the result was not good, you ran the ball hard and you ran the ball effectively against the Broncos.
Well, you know, we worked all week, you know, on running the ball effectively against these guys. And I think we got these guys beat. Only that we turned the ball over a few times, which really hurt us. This year we've been working on not turning the ball over, but today it didn't work.
Yeah, right. You're way far ahead of those guys as far as everybody in the league, as far as takeaways and giveaways are concerned. But today you gave the ball away, and that really was the difference in the ball game.
Well, you know, you work on something, and sometimes it works for you. Sometimes, you know, you make some mistakes. And today we made some mistakes, you know, and turned the ball over a few times. So we're just going to come back next week and work on the next game against the Cleveland.
Okay, Christian, thanks for joining us out here. Let's go to Tim Barnett now. Timmy, one of those games you guys can't afford to get down because of the situation you have. You got 5 more games coming up this year, each one, so very important now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, thing that we've always been told, and you know, that every game is important. You know, this was an important game because this was the game that we're playing this week. So, you know, next week Cleveland is very important to us. You know, we're going to take them one game at a time, one play at a time. You know, we're going to work hard, and, you know, things will turn around to our advantage.
You know, sometimes people in Kansas City, because you have Denver here and you've got the big crowd, they just automatically say, oh, well, you know, the Chiefs have got this team. That's not the way it happens in the NFL, is it?
No, Denver played hard throughout the game. They made us play hard. They made some big plays. We made some turnovers. They was able to take advantage of those and make plays. So, you know, when you make turnovers, you know, you have to make bigger plays to make things happen to come out on top.
Maybe besides the Chiefs, that secondary you face, say, one of the best in the NFL.
I mean, hey, Denver secondary, you know, they played an outstanding game. You know, they are as good as anybody's secondary. So, you know, I got to give those guys an A.
Hey, Timmy, thanks a lot for joining us.
Okay,
go get him next week in Cleveland. Right. Okay, Tim Barnett. Now we're going to go upstairs one floor, and outside we're going to go to Kelly Minton. Kelly?
Frank, I tell you what, I'm standing here with Faith Cherry, Deron Cherry's wife, and Dwayne Cherry, his brother, and I tell you what, we're a little depressed, but, you know, not too badly. I guess we'll get them next time. We're just gritting your teeth in the final few moments.
Oh, my goodness, that was one of the most stressful games I have watched since the last one. It was very stressful, but I think now is the time where we as a family, we become important, and I think that we help them, and we'll get them going from just getting them to focus off of what happened and getting them to look ahead, because that's where it is the most important when they come home and they have the family. And we don't talk about the game. That's one rule. We know better than talk about the game, but we'll just look ahead and look further to, we have more games.
Dwayne, what are you going to say to Deron tonight? How do you help him get over a loss like that?
Well, first of all, I hope it wasn't me. This is my first game being here. I hope it wasn't me. I didn't bring in bad luck or anything, but just trying to pick it up, and everything went well. He came out of the game healthy, so look forward to the next one.
Okay, and Faith, you guys did one big positive thing today. You had a big food drive here at Arrowhead.
Yes, we did, and that was very positive. Myself and my sister Diana, we got a cardboard box. We grabbed it off of one of the stands. And you want to say hustle, it doesn't sound like a very nice word, but we actually had people giving money for the food drive. That was just unbelievable. It was a lot of fun this morning.
That's great. Well, I thank all of you guys for being with me today. And I tell you what, Frank, down here but not out yet. We're going to try and pick things up, and we'll get them next time. Back to you.
That's right, Kelly. That's one thing the fans have to remember. It is not over. They still have a great shot at an AFC wild card, and if they can continue playing not maybe the way they played today, but continue playing the way they had the weeks before, they can get back into this thing and have the best AFC wild card, and then they would host a playoff game here at Arrowhead. Okay, we're going to be back in just a couple minutes. We're going to wrap it up here, and we're going to take a look back musically at today's game.
We don't have to tell people we're number one. Our cars and trucks speak for themselves. See your local Chevy dealer.
Where's the action?
The action is at the Gold Buffet for families, groups, and private parties, celebrating 30 years of Gold Buffet action.
Where's the action?
It's you, Foster. Plus, Mickey Finn's Ragtime Piano, Dixieland Band, and outrageous comedy are the greatest.
I'll drink to that. What you got?
A full Las Vegas show, December the 5th and 6th at the Gold Buffet Celebrity Room. Remember, December 5th and 6th.
Try to remember that.
I forgot.
Building a new home not only means a 30-year mortgage, it also means a 30-year energy bill. To get the most for your investment, look for the sign of an energy-efficient home. It means lower energy costs because it uses clean, efficient electricity throughout. Your energy team at Kansas City Power and Light is 2,800 specialists working to find ways to help save on your energy bills. And this energy-efficient home is one of those ways. So, before you invest in a new home, ask us about energy.
We've been telling you about Kansas City's Hondas. Now, let our customers tell you.
The Accord was the perfect combination, we felt, of size and roominess, yet I didn't want to sacrifice, sportiness or performance. We looked at the Accord and bought it the first day we looked at it. He seems to enjoy it.
And if that's not enough to convince you, all our brand new 92 Accords and remaining 91 Accords are now on sale at Frank Ancona, Hal Quinn, Jay Wolf, Stadium, John Chizik, and O'Neill Honda.
Of course, the final once again was the Denver Broncos 24, the Kansas City Chiefs 20 out here at Arrowhead today. Now let's take a look at what the Chiefs have facing them as they go down to the final 5 games of the season. They will only play one more game at home. The Chiefs have Cleveland and Seattle on the road. They come back and play that final home game against San Diego. Then they go on the road to play San Francisco and the LA Raiders. Right now, of course, it does not look good for the Chiefs to win the AFC West. Any kind of tiebreaker situation with Denver, of course, will win. The Chiefs now really shooting for the best record as a wild card playoff team, Kevin, and that's about it from out here at Arrowhead.
Frank, when you look at the rest of the schedule, it doesn't look good for the Chiefs, but this is the NFL. There's 5 weeks left. A lot of things can happen. They're a game back, but a couple of Denver losses to a couple of those lower-class teams, and the Chiefs could be right back in business, couldn't they? Yeah, that's true, and Denver does have a lot of football games on the road. This game was very important for the Denver Broncos. You see, now they go to Seattle when the Chiefs are in Cleveland. Then they come home and play New England. They go away and play Cleveland. They come home and play Phoenix, and they go away again and play San Diego. And don't forget about those Raiders. They have three away games as well with Cincinnati, San Diego, and a very tough New Orleans Saints team. They face a very tough Buffalo Bills team at the LA Coliseum, and then they face the Kansas City Chiefs in a final game. And I'll tell you what makes you think that it's going to come down to that final game of the season in the LA Coliseum against the LA Raiders? Yeah, that probably will happen, Frank. What were your impressions of the game today? Did it look at all to you like the game last year at Miami in the playoffs where the Chiefs got into a big game situation and just couldn't quite get the job done at the end? Is that maybe a concern for the Chiefs at this point? Yeah, I think so. I just think it was one of those days for Steve DeBerg. I have not seen him play this poorly in a game this big for a long time. He played poorly against the San Diego Chargers, like I said before, a while ago, last year. But, this situation this year was just a tough situation out there. Some days you're on, some days you're not. This was just not Steve DeBerg's day. They're going to have to shake it off when they go to Cleveland, too, because I'll tell you, Bernie Kosar right now is playing some good football, and so are the Browns. And now the Chiefs are coming off this emotional high and a loss at the same time to go and face the Cleveland Browns. I know what the Chiefs fans want to happen, Frank. They'd like to see Denver and Kansas City, both very fine football teams, perhaps get hot the rest of the way and meet somewhere later down the road in the playoffs, maybe in a title game. If the Chiefs played Denver a third time, maybe things could be different, huh? That's right. That would be fun. It's tough to beat any team 3 times in one season. All right, thanks. Thank you very much, Frank, for helping us out in the post-game locker room. Nice job today. That'll do it for us right now, but don't forget, we've got much more coverage coming up on our 5 o'clock edition of WDAF4 News. And, of course, you can catch more of the best local post-game coverage tonight on the Kansas City Sports Machine. We will leave you now with one more look at this afternoon's Chiefs-Broncos clash in the quest for the West. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you again at 5 o'clock. Good afternoon, everyone.